Hello, everybody. It's one of your favorite brothers, Phil, broadcasting right from the city of romance, Paris, where we have wrapped up an incredible week over at Paris Blockchain Week. We kicked off the week with the XRP Community Day. Then we had the Ripple institutional event later on, where we had some very impressive speakers, some very impressive guests and attendees. And then, of course, XRP Community Night, and midway through the week and towards the end, we met with some of the smartest people in Web3, a lot of institutions, a lot. Market makers, traders. I was very surprised actually to learn that one of the biggest hedge funds has a multi-billion-dollar digital assets arm. Hopefully I'll be able to share more on that soon, actually, because it's very exciting. And there is some very cool stuff that they are doing. So that should be something that I can share more on soon. But I wanted to make this video to talk about three things, this Word in the Room episode. First of all, I think that there are signs of the next bull market starting to appear right now. Second of all, what to watch out for while we are still in a bear market. And third of all, where we're going to be next. So I'll kick things off with why I think that we're actually starting to see the signs of the next bull market. Right now, it's quite clear to everybody that we're in a bear market. It is from the sentiment that we see, and also just looking at asset prices. So let's take that as a given. The really cool thing is that whilst sentiment on crypto Twitter does seem to be pretty dire, I actually am seeing on the ground something very different, which is that builders are excited to build. I think excitement is extremely high, and we see that right at the coal face at EZA. But I also see that institutions are excited. And so what I have seen is that there are a lot of institutional traders who are moving very quickly right now in crypto. And this is something that I genuinely have not seen before. There are so many traders right now in the institutional, traditional finance world who are looking at crypto right now just because they see the opportunities that there are, and not just in terms of this whole thing about them trying to trade against retail. They genuinely see that they can just hedge their exposure better. They have trading on weekends, which is massive for them. We have seen that with other platforms like Hyperliquid, there are a lot of commodities traders who are now using that in order to hedge, place risk, take risk over weekends, all sorts of different strategies that they're playing on there because it's a much better experience. There's so much that's going on behind the scenes right now that I think doesn't make its way, for whatever reason, onto crypto Twitter. These are conversations that typically, as you know, within traditional finance, take place behind closed doors and are right going up to the highest levels. There are big deals being made and big amounts that these funds, these institutions are investing right now. And they're coming to crypto for something that's different. And that's why I think that it doesn't really necessarily appear just yet in the markets as we see them, because they're actually using the platforms. I think that in previous cycles, there was a lot of hype, and that then translated quite quickly, when there was hype, into people talking about this on Twitter, or X, as of course it's now being called. It translated into these big cycles in the altcoins, as well as people tried to get ahead of these trends. But now what I'm seeing is that it's actually the other way around, where there's a lot of capital which is now coming on-chain and is about to come on-chain. And a lot of people haven't seen that. And it's something that you only really get a feel for when you're actually talking to these people. And it's interesting because I think that what I've noticed is that it's not quite what I expected. And honestly, I'm so excited about it because it's not the way that I would have expected this to happen. And it's different to previous cycles as well, where it's almost happening in reverse, where the adoption is now happening and crypto asset prices haven't yet reflected that. So again, I personally don't usually talk about prices directly too much. I like to look at the long term, and I like to look at what's happening in the medium to long term over the next periods. But it's just very exciting, because I think we're starting to see real adoption, and real people actually, like real institutions actually using these chains. And of course, that's then going to translate into much, much wider adoption across. So we're chatting with a lot of very, very interesting funds. I will be able to share more on that soon. I think that you will probably start to see some big moves from these institutions very soon. Again, the interesting thing is that these institutions don't talk about what they're doing because otherwise their competitors are going to get wind of it. So read between the lines sometimes in what these institutions are doing. Have a look at some of these capital flows as well, and you'll start to see what's going on right now and what's about to happen. So I think they're early signs of the next bull market, and it's just got me really, really optimistic and really, really excited about the future. Number two is what to watch out for while we're in the bear. I think the bear market is very interesting because it's both good and bad. Obviously, the bad, we don't need to talk about that. It's just the bear. But on the good side, it flushes out a lot of the bad actors. It flushes out the people who don't genuinely believe in the technology, who are just here when things are good. They're not here when things aren't going exactly as everybody wants them to go. But also, it's a great opportunity to see who's really genuinely believing in it. And so what I would say is that, first of all, make sure that you are positioned to be able to weather the storm. But also, just that when you're looking out there, I think one of these things that I'll share with you, because I think it's really, really important for you to see where you're positioned and what technologies you're excited about building on or adopting. And it's this. It's that during the bear, because it is so cyclical in crypto, and because people do come and go, because there are so many tourists when things are good, it's actually very easy to see which blockchains and which technologies are doing well or going to do well. And that's not so easy to see during the bull market. And there's one very, very simple thing that you can look at, which is how active are those blockchains? And how active are the leaders? Have a look at the conferences. Have a look at who's speaking. Have a look at which leaders are still going to the conferences, are still traveling around the world, grinding non-stop, meeting builders, meeting with institutions, speaking on stage. Have a look at who is actually continuing to go to those, and you will see, and I won't mention any names, you will see that there are some names that you would expect to be there, hustling, grinding, that are completely not there. They have completely vanished and are nowhere to be seen. Have a look at who is still out here, and this is the time that you can really assess that very, very well. In the bull market, everybody is traveling because everybody's excited, but it's times like these when you can very easily see. It's like that saying, when the sea goes out, when the tide goes out, that's when you can see everybody who's been swimming naked. Which brings me on to my third point, which is where we're going next. Dom and I are always on the road. We are always growing this space. We are growing EZA so rapidly. We have wrapped up this incredible week here in Paris at Paris Blockchain Week. It's been amazing. The sun is shining. Paris in April, I think, is honestly probably one of the most splendid cities in the world. If you haven't been to Paris in April, I highly recommend it. I'm very fortunate that we got to have this conference right here in Paris around this time of year. The weather is amazing. The food is beautiful. The people are incredible. It's just amazing. And of course, we have that very, very good news that I've been hearing from all these institutions and about everything that they are doing to come on chain. But where are we next? Next up, we are going to be hosting builders in London, in San Francisco. We'll be back next week. After that, of course, XRP Las Vegas, which we are really, really excited for. We've been seeing all the excitement from everybody in the community as well. And after that, we'll then head on over to Miami for Consensus Miami, where we will be hosting a big, big hackathon. After that, New York, and the rest I will not reveal just yet. But we are on the road, and we are very excited to see everybody in person at XRP Las Vegas for our Shark Tank and at Consensus Miami. So we'll be on both coasts. We'll be crisscrossing across the country. And I'll leave you with this. There is a saying in racing that during a rainy day, it's possible to overtake many, many, many drivers. It's very, very possible. On a sunny day, it's very, very difficult. When track conditions are going really, really well, it's easy for everybody. And it's times when it's difficult, when it's a rainy day, when things are a little bit more gloomy, that it's possible to overtake everybody. And of course, that is a metaphor from racing and race car driving, but it really applies to real life. This is the time to get ahead. It's, again, another saying, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. So on that note, have a great rest of your week, everybody. Have an amazing weekend, and I'll see you in the next location where we'll be popping up around the world.